When real men can't sleep, real men do the news, ever vigilant, always paying attention, the man on the wall. I've made the argument often, probably more often than people would want me to make the argument, but I make the argument that we are a ball or on a ball hurling through space. That is the thing that is true. Yes, we get up, we go to work, we do our jobs, but we do that in order to make a subsistence. But of all of those processes, human beings are real, Earth is real, us flying through space at magnificent speeds is real. Our desire to explore, our desire to take our resources and send them to other planets in order to explore those other planets. There's a Chinese satellite or Chinese rover that's on the moon, dark side of the moon, right now. We have objects that are floating and flying through space, going past Pluto and whatnot. We have this desire to understand our world, our universe, and we build technology in order to help us understand those things. Why would human beings expect to be the only thing in this particular environment? Think about what you're saying for the moment. For human beings to be the only thing that's in this particular universe, it would have to mean that every planet, every galaxy, there are more galaxies than grains of sand on Earth, every one of those things would have to be uninhabited. And in all of those things, none of those beings, if those beings were to exist, would have the same desire, the same urge to understand what else is out there. Some will not. You would think some would, just based on probability. And the notion that God put human beings in this kind of petri dish bubble without the exclusion of anything else seems weird to me. That seems like that would need to be a religious argument. We have life that grow in volcanic pits. Put it in perspective. Life, when it gets the chance to grow, it does. At least that's my argument, based on what things look like on this planet and based on the level of planets out there and the probabilities that there will be something else. To give a little bit of evidence that we're a ball hurling through space, NASA puts things in the sky, meaning we have a space station in orbit at this very moment that in perpetuity shows us Earth. Now, I don't know what this stuff is down here, but basically we have a live ISS feed over our planet if you ever wanted to see Earth in real time. This feed, also ever vigilant, just so happens to catch something that is rather mind-blowing and that they don't quite know what it is. And the typical arguments, it's a rock, it's space debris, it's a thing of water that is just floating through the cosmos. That doesn't quite fit, since this particular object at one point blast off out of range of the cameras, leaving behind some kind of puff of smoke or puff of something behind it. This goes on for 22 minutes. At this point, no one knows what it is. By definition, it is a UFO. Welcome to the soapbox. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. This is a late night soapbox, 3:45 in the morning. I doze off during the daytime, so I ended up waking up at a ridiculous hour. Fortunately, I did. Ever vigilant. So, a website, ET database, catches this footage. Now, the original footage, again, goes on for 22 minutes. I think he cuts it at around 9. He's doing a bit of discussion on it, but basically, they don't know what it is. We don't know what it is. Just from an objective reality standpoint, it is a craft caught by the ISS feed. At some point, they zoom in on the craft as it's moving. Now, the wild part about it is, look at it. You can see it for yourself. Multiple sites have covered this at this point. It just kept almost a geostationary orbit with the station. And again, at some point, the station zooms in. But look at what's happening. Look at what's happening. If it's a rock, does it start taking a upward trajectory? Look at it for yourself. It's not doctored. And out of frame. That is phenomenal. And look at the puff. Look at the puff in the back. There's a green puff as it goes up. This footage, and you can see it at the bottom right here, down here. And basically, this goes on for 22 minutes. And again, at some point, they zoom in on the object, which gives some notion that they noticed it and they were aware of it. That's fucking phenomenal. That is phenomenal. They're zooming in. They're zooming in. They see it. Just think. Just think for the moment. You're in the ISS. You're in the space station. And you see that. And you see that not for 3 minutes, not for a split second, but for 22 minutes. That fucking thing is outside. And you zoom in on it. And you're chattering a bit about it. You give some coordinates and whatnot. But you don't know what it is. At least that's the stated position of the U.S. government and stated position of NASA. And yeah, there it is. There it is. That is so fucking cool. Some people get enamored with the technology itself. And the technology itself, don't get me wrong, is interesting. But who built it, to me, is more interesting. Is that something that we built? Meaning, is that our craft? Or is this something that someone else built? Meaning, it's not our craft. And keep in mind, my argument, this is them zooming in. This is them zooming in. They've noticed. They've noticed. You know my argument? It's either us or it's not. Is that top secret device ours, or is it not ours? Now, I hold out a certain probability that this video was somehow doctored. Up to this point, it's not. If it comes back that it is, then fair enough, I'll do another video saying, okay, this video was full of shit. Up to this point, this video is legit. This particular item is either ours or it is not. Both of those positions are mind-blowing. If it is ours, there's something secret that we've been running that have been building these type of devices that can operate in space. And again, when this craft leaves, it goes up and away, not down. Meaning if it's ours, it's something that has the capacity to operate in space. And it is not like anything that we have typically seen in regards to our inventory. If it is not ours, then also, oh my God. If it's not ours, whose is it? Where did it come from? How does it work? Where is the facilities that builds this particular craft? What are the materials that builds this particular craft? What is the ability of this particular craft? What is the civilization? What is the government? What is the orientation of the society of the beings in this particular craft? Is there anybody in the craft at all? Is it automatic? Like, there's so many questions that just naturally arise from this video from the ISS. And there has to be someone, somewhere, to come out and say, either from the ISS, this video is not real, this video is a fake, or we don't know what it is. Or that's just a rock floating through space. Hey, you may get space dust. You may get all of these explanations from people who don't just want to accept. We don't know what that is. It's not entirely ballistic because it is going, for the most part, in geostationary orbit with the craft. And when it finally gets tired of going through geostationary orbit, and get tired of being seen, because again, this thing is here. It certainly knows that the space crew, that ISS is above it. At some point, it just blasts off. We're sick of being seen. You've seen us. Now we're leaving. This is mind-blowing footage. That's all. And it eventually just leaves. I mean, God, man, the picture of the Earth in and of itself is so beautiful. Yeah. I was looking for the original video on this, and I imagine I would probably have to go through a lot of ISS footage in order to find it. But, and here's another video that took a clip of this. Okay, we don't need the music. Effectively, this group is trying to do a video analysis of the ISS footage to get a closer look at the craft and whatnot. That's mind-blowing. That's mind-blowing. I'm going to be looking to try to disprove that this is real, because this is such a mind-blowing footage. But up to this point, it's a legit footage. They caught it on the ISS. The 22-minute long footage shows the bus-sized UFO moving at the same speed as the ISS, which moves at 78 kilometers per second. At the end of the live feed stream, the UFO shoots towards and disappears, leaving behind a green burst of light. During the NASA footage, the space station workers are discussing maintenance on the space station. However, at one point, the NASA live cam suddenly notices something down there and begins to zoom in on it. Scott Waring, said the NASA zooming in on a UFO, not me. They are as baffled as I am. They don't know what it is or why it's there. During the feed, they mentioned coordinates, and that could be the secret code to the location of an object. They don't want to be too obvious. They never mentioned anything else about it. Describing the footage, Waring added, it looks like a cone-shaped. I've never seen a module in this shape. It doesn't look like any kind of object I've seen before. If it's military, then it's top secret Air Force technology. So assume for the moment that it's part of the space station. Well, what part of the space station is that? They're going to have to come on and say something about this, or maybe they don't say anything at all. But you could see it for yourself. And if this is some kind of module that eventually just gets tired of, flying at this rate of speed and just blast off, that will be an amazing type of module to do such a thing. And it doesn't necessarily look like it's coming towards the space station. It look like it's just going out into space. So either NASA lost the module that took off on its own steam, or there's something out there that we are unaware of. I'll leave it here. I don't want to, belabor the point. I'll put this video at the bottom, and I'm going to spend additional minutes looking for the original NASA footage. But either way, that's fucking awesome. Come on, Jamal. We know you built it in your garage. Well, A, I don't have a garage. And B, I don't know if I would have the technical capabilities to build something like this. All right. I'll end it here. We're a ball hurling through space. That's the thing that's true. And I will be looking, and look for yourself. But I'm also going to be looking for the original footage of this. Right now, I've seen it in multiple newspapers, but I haven't necessarily seen the original ISS footage. And I suppose there's going to be a lot of it to kind of crawl through. This video came out roughly a day or two ago, so it goes from there. All right, I'll end it here. Like, share, subscribe.